Okay.
All right. We are here with Jason and Jackie McClure. We're so excited to interview them and just hear about how they got into insurance midterm rental. And they're going to share with you guys even a little bit of how our stories are intertwined. But yeah, we are super happy that they are part of the Vetted Homes team. We would not be doing, honestly, the Davenports would not be involved in insurance midterm rental if it wasn't for them. So they are the OGs, the original trailblazers, and we're excited to just dive into their story and hear how they got started. So without further ado, why don't Jackie and Jason and Jackie, why don't you guys just tell the people just a little bit about how you guys got started in this whole iMTR world, if you could.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you start with our story?
So, Jason bought a condo already in Southern California before we had got married. And so when we got married, we moved into it for a few months and then kind of took a God venture to China, to Shanghai, China. And as we left, we had found some people to rent our house from us. And it was kind of ideal because we had like a couch and some things in there that were like, yay, we know these people. So we can kind of leave it mostly furnished. But we took all of our main stuff, our clothes and whatnot, to China with us, not knowing if we'd ever come back. So fast forward a few years because we got married in 2010. What year was it that we?
So we moved to China in
switch?
2011.
Yeah.
And then
it was 2016.
Got into it. It happened, I believe, December
2015. That's right. When our renters call us, from across the world and are like, hey, if it's okay with you, we found another place, a better place. And so could we break our lease early? And we're kind of like, but we both had this like calm sense of peace about it. And we're like, okay, let's just say yes. And we'll see what God's going to do kind of thing. And we listed it on Facebook Marketplace, hoping to find somebody else that we maybe knew. And it was kind of crickets. We had a few people look at it and it's not really what we're looking for, not a good fit. And I had happened.
Let me stop you for a second. We were actually at a ministry school, a short ministry school during the summer out in the Midwest. So we'd come back to the States. We'd come back to the States a couple times a year. And we were in the middle of the school. And then this guy from Africa that was in the school, he actually came up to us and started like prophesying over us, right? So he's just like, and he's singing this song. And we're like, what's going on right now? And he's like, guys, you don't get it.
The words he's saying was, the struggle is over. The struggle is over.
And so he's like,
over and over again.
You don't get it. Like, I only get this song like very few times. Whenever I get this song for somebody, like something breaks in their life, some struggle breaks. And it's like a major, major breakthrough.
And we're telling, and I'm telling you, we were already like upside down on that condo. So we couldn't sell it and make money. We were getting rent from it for long-term renters, but it wasn't enough to cover what we owed. Yeah. So we were also upside down on that front.
We were getting like 1,500 or 1,800, somewhere in that range. And like all in our first, second, and our HOA, which California HOAs are crazy.
Yeah.
I think we owed like 22 or 23 or 24 or somewhere in that range. So we were upside down every month.
100 every month.
Out of pocket. And then,
and I kid you not, like that song, that whole thing, this is days apart. Like guys sing song over us, get a phone call. Can we break lease early? Both of us are kind of like, okay, we're kind of at peace with this. Let's see what happens. And then they said like by January 1st, they'll be out. And so my mom was telling me once we got back to China, have you heard about these gas leaks in Porter Valley or Porter Ranch? And I'm like, no. She goes, you should call the insurance companies because I hear they're placing homes everywhere. We had never heard of insurance companies working with, like that was just so not on my radar. I think Airbnb was even new at that time. And so I'm like, okay, who do I call? What do I do? She's like, I'll get you some info. So she got me a few numbers to call and I tried a few. I left some messages, sent some emails, nothing, no reply. And again, the next time I talked to her, she's like, I can't believe that they're not getting back to you. I mean, they're frantically trying to place. So this time I called back and when they answered and kind of brushed me off, they were like, yeah, we'll get back to you. And I was like, well, aren't you guys frantically looking to rehome people like from the Porter Ranch thing, Porter Valley thing? And they go, are you within the radius to Porter Valley? Porter Ranch. I keep switching up. And I'm like, yeah, well, we're in Santa Clarita. It's probably like 20, 30 minutes. He's like, Santa Clarita, yes, I have a family for you right away. What's the rent? What are you charging? And he put me on the spot. So I was like, we were used to getting like 1,500. So I was like, I'm going to go big. It's insurance. I'm going to double it. So I'm like, well, we're hoping like around 3,000 for the rent, you know? And he goes, I have a family that could start immediately for 2 months. I can get you closer to 55. And I was like, for per month or like for the whole 2 months? Like, I didn't know if he was like negotiating, you know, or and he's like, no, per month. So I was just like, okay, well, let me know what we need to do. Meanwhile, Jason's like, this is crazy. Let's see if this really is going to work or not. And then you got a call in the middle of the night when I was asleep, right?
Yeah, because we were back in China by this time. So we're on opposite, time zones. They were 15 hours apart or something like that. And so I got a message on my voicemail. I pulled it up and it was them calling back. And they're like, we got everything approved. So we got back on the phone with them. And the guy's like, yeah, so we got you 7,000. And we're like,
because they have a pet.
What?
He had previously asked, would you allow a pet? I was like, yeah, heck yeah.
So we had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
900.
just under 1,000 square foot condo, right? Not even a yard, condo in North LA County.
Not ideal.
Right. And we're moving from like 1,800 a month, like
max.
And then now we're going to 7. Like, we're like, what? So frantically, we're like, oh.
And those people, by the way, booked for 2 months, they ended up staying 5.
Yeah, I think 5.5. It was crazy.
And they were so sweet and so grateful to be there.
Yeah. And so I hopped on a plane, flew back to LA. I like used whatever money we had, that like credit, and like cash that we had, and just like try to make the place as nice as possible. Because I'm like, these guys are paying so much. Like, I want them to feel like premium. So I'm like switching out sconce lights and painting and all this stuff. And it was just amazing. They had a great experience. They loved the place.
And that is proof you can do this even from another state, another city, or another country.
And that was our intro. Great. So after that happened, we're like, we are never going back to long-term rentals. Never. Yeah. So that's ultimately what kicked us also into short-term rentals. That's when we started.
Well, I actually think that was the door that opened us up even to real estate. Because I don't think we had seen real estate as a path for our future. Yeah. I think it was just like, we happen to have this condo. We'll probably just always rent it out. If we ever move back, we'll buy our house, but we're not gonna, it wasn't lucrative for us. So we were like, I didn't even understand, like, how do some people make that their job? Like, there's no money in it, Yeah.
And I think it's a story also of holding to convictions, because, the way that we got upside down on that condo, I bought the condo for like $267, I think it was. And then at the height of the market, like, I refinanced and took cash out.
When it was 380, or was it
330? Mm-hmm. So I refinanced at 330, took cash out, paid off all my school debt, and then everything, 2008, 2009, everything crashed. So I was way upside down, and everyone was upside down,
But every normal friend of ours, like every person that kind of knew about anything,
everyone, like,
they were just telling us,
they're like,
walk away.
They're like, short sale, do whatever you can.
Doesn't matter. It'll only hurt your credit for 3 years.
And I'm just like, I'm just not the guy that walks away. I just can't do it. So we held on, for the ride, and what a ride it's been.
That was truly just the crazy. Like, once they left after 5 months, we're like, okay, so for sure with that house, we're never going back to long-term renting. But then it really obviously got our wheels turning, because then we're like, we adopted a little boy from China. And then we had a girl, we gave birth to a girl in China. And so we were then like, oh my gosh, we have kids now. We want to like spend time with them. And man, maybe this is a way to actually like, spend more time at home. And at least that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it started out as first just an awesome turn of events that got us paid off, on our past debts, and got us kind of moving. And moved us into the short-term, midterm markets. But then when we moved back from China to the States, when we repatriated in 2017, we moved back into the condo, and that's where you guys came in, right?